Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is literally a mix of high-altitude building science and environmental survival. We're taking a deep dive into the unique and, honestly, pretty extreme exterior renovation needs of homes in Conifer, Colorado. If you're a homeowner up in this beautiful mountain community and you're thinking about an exterior remodel, well, grab a notepad. This Explainer is going to be your ultimate guide. Okay, let's jump right in.
So, let me ask you a question. Is your home's exterior ready for July 1, 2026? Now, you might be wondering why that specific date. It's not just some arbitrary timeline pulled out of thin air. That is the exact date when exterior renovations in Jefferson County change dramatically, because that's when the new Wildfire Resiliency Code officially takes effect. We're going to unpack exactly why this matters, how it completely shifts the materials you can choose, and the critical building science you really need to grasp before you spend a single dollar on your house.
Here's a quick look at our roadmap for today. 1. Conifer's extreme mountain climate. 2. The 2026 Wildfire Code. 3. The James Hardie advantage. 4. A resilient whole home exterior. And 5. Choosing 5280 exteriors.
Let's start with Section 1, Conifer's extreme mountain climate. 8,399 feet. That's the average elevation for Conifer. And up at that altitude, the environmental wear and tear on a house it's drastically amplified. You aren't just dealing with normal weather up there. You are dealing with a multi-hazard environment that accelerates material degradation at a pretty frightening pace.
So what does that high altitude actually mean for your siding and roof? Well, for starters, extreme solar UV radiation dries out and degrades materials way faster than down in the flatlands. Then you've got rapid freeze-thaw cycles. We're talking 50-degree temperature swings in a single day, which causes building materials to violently expand and contract. Add in heavy seasonal snowpack trapping moisture against your walls, and of course the big one, dynamic wildfire behavior. We're looking at convective updrafts and high winds that can carry burning debris and ember showers literally miles ahead of an active flame front. Standard flatland building materials, they simply fail in this Wildland-Urban Interface, or WII zone.
Moving on to Section 2, the 2026 Wildfire Code.
Okay, here's where things get absolutely crucial. You have to understand this new localized ordinance. The Jefferson County Wildfire Resiliency Code, or WRC, establishes minimum structure hardening and defensible space standards for high-hazard zones, rolling out July 1, 2026. It's a direct response to a broader Colorado state mandate. Now don't panic, this isn't a retroactive law forcing you to tear down your perfectly good home tomorrow. But it absolutely does apply to all new construction, structural additions over 500 square feet, and, this is the big takeaway, major exterior alterations.
The trigger that's going to catch a lot of homeowners off guard is the 25% rule. It's kind of like a domino effect for your renovation. If you replace less than 25% of your roof or siding, it might just be considered a simple repair. But if you replace 25% or more of your exterior wall surface or roof area, bam, the code can require that the entire exterior surface be brought up to brand new, fire-resilient standards. Suddenly, a standard siding job triggers full whole home WI code compliance upgrades. So if you're planning a project, you've got to take these strategic steps before you even start looking at design samples. Step 1. Check the official Jefferson County map to verify your WI class, because that dictates your materials. Step 2. Figure out if your project scope is going to hit that 25% trigger. And Step 3. Select code-compliant exterior materials that meet these tough new structure-hardening standards.
Which brings us to Section 3, the James Hardie advantage.
When it comes to the HZ5 mountain climate zone, the differences in material performance are just vast. Take natural cedar. It offers poor thermal stability, and it basically invites local woodpeckers to make a literal meal out of your house. Plus, when it dries out from that mountain UV, it turns into a highly combustible fuel bed. Standard vinyl? It expands, buckles, and actually, scratch that. It doesn't just buckle. Under the radiant heat of a wildfire, it melts almost instantly, exposing the wood underneath to direct ignition. But fiber cement? It's a real game changer. Excellent thermal stability, engineered to resist those freeze-thaw cycles. Pests completely ignore it, and most importantly, it is non-combustible.
The building science data is incredibly clear on this. Quote, verified as non-combustible per ASTM E136, Hardie siding will not contribute fuel to a fire. It carries a Class A fire rating with a flame spread of literally 0. When you're building in a WUI zone under the new Jefferson County Code, this is exactly the specification you need. For sure, it's the optimal code-compliant cladding for mountain homes.
Next up, Section 4, a resilient whole home exterior.
Because here's the thing, True WUI hardening requires looking way beyond just the siding. It's about establishing a complete structural envelope. If you have fire-resistant siding but a highly flammable roof or deck, your home is still incredibly vulnerable. So here's what a whole home system looks like to resist radiant heat and embers. First, windows. Standard glass shatters under radiant heat, letting embers right into your living room. No way. You need systems like Pella windows with low-E insulated double or triple pane glass. Second, the roof is where embers love to gather. You need GAF architectural shingles installed as a complete Class A fire-rated assembly. And finally, decks are a notorious ignition pathway. Swapping old wood for TimberTech advanced PVC decking gives you a Class A or B fire-rated surface that resists ignition from those falling embers. The whole shebang.
And finally, Section 5. Choosing 5280 exteriors.
Identifying the right building science is only half the battle, right? The other half is installation. You need a specialized contractor who actually knows how to execute this complex mountain building science. Based on the research, the contractor that fits this highly specific profile up in Conifer is 5280 Exteriors. They aren't just your standard everyday installer. They're a back-to-back James Hardie President's Club Award winner for 2024 and 2025. That's an elite credential. It requires verified volume, strict adherence to manufacturer standards, and deep expertise in navigating those complex WI permit codes in Jefferson County. Plus, 5280 Exteriors specializes in installing that entire whole home envelope we just discussed, the James Hardie siding, the Pella windows, the GAF roofing, and the TimberTech decking.
Just to put their qualifications into perspective for a second, 1%. As an elite preferred contractor, 5280 Exteriors is in the top 1% of James Hardie contractors nationally. That unlocks a full 30-year product warranty that standard contractors simply can't offer. When you're dealing with extreme mountain conditions and strict legal codes, relying on a contractor in that top 1 percentile just makes sense.
So, I'll leave you with this provocative question to chew on. Will your next remodel meet the mountain standard? If you live up in Conifer, the rules of the game are completely changing on July 1, 2026. The climate is unforgiving, and the new building codes are demanding. But by utilizing non-combustible materials like James Hardie fiber cement and partnering with high-level experts like 5280 Exteriors, you are empowered to make research-driven, code-compliant decisions that truly protect your home. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning out there.